So we right back. Now, talk about some more of control. So let's do some fun things. Uh, Simply press and play. So in this project, whatever you created, whatever code that you created, the moment you press play, it will fire off. All right. So right now we are on the third person template, as it reads right there. We have a basic character right here. It comes with basic camera movement, and by using the keyboard, I can simply walk him around. Also jump. He can have basic functions, basic movement, because this is a template. Unreal has a wonderful thing where it gives you templates to basically have a project started, and you can change this to anything you want. And the moment you start doing this, possibilities will blow out of your mind, out of proportion, because you'll be saying, wow, I can do this, I can do this. That's how that works. That's how that works. And that's the beauty of Unreal and any other game engine if you may choose to use. It's creativity. So yeah, that's that. That's what happens when you press the play. Now, let's talk about this up here. So you can save, of course. This is source control. This is your content. This will take you back to the marketplace. This is your settings. It's pretty much the same thing as this over here. And your blueprints. Now, this is important because this is where you go to the level blueprint. All right. And this folder down here, like this folder contains this character right here, the third person character by itself. But the level blueprint is something that you will have to go to because this is something that you want the level itself to control. And a lot of times, excuse me, you will have to go to the level blueprint because there's things that pawns and actors within your world cannot handle or cannot do that the overall code, the overall level can do. So that's what that's at up here. And that's, you want to see what that's like? Let's keep going. So semantics is where you create semantics for your world. Build, this is important. And I don't mean to gloss over all these things, but I'm going to be strictly honest. I've used and I've ventured into all this stuff, but a lot of this stuff is deep. So I just want to go over the basics just to get you going, okay? To get us all going, all right? So build is pretty important. Oh, I just did it on accident. But when you build, basically what you're doing is taking the code that you built, the lightning and the shadows and everything, and making it and rebuilding it. The collision, you're rebuilding. Um, you're going to put computer AI in here. Well, where can that computer AI go? You're building it. You know, that's what that means right here. And you have different options too. And I find myself a lot of times just building paths because I put like an AI enemy in here, and I don't want the whole thing to build because it takes a while sometimes. No, you just build the paths, and yeah, um, it's a whole lot quicker, and it does this automatically now with this update. I noticed too. Like whenever you set something in here, it'll just update, and sometimes that can take longer. The more you have built, the more you make, the longer the project is going to take. Remember that, because there's a little trick that I've started that I'll show you, but I'm not sure if it effectively works. But it's something that I've done to kind of organize my projects more. Okay, to kind of reduce the time. And again, play. But there's different play options. If you come over to play, you can play the whole game. Okay. And the other one I want to talk about is simulate. If you press simulate, what you can do is still have control over the main camera, but you can see what's actually happening within your world. So like, say this character runs up these stairs, right? And a wall is supposed to come up, but the wall isn't coming up. But you know the code is right. So maybe something's stopping it. So what you can do is press play, come over here and see this wall that keeps coming up and down and maybe come up under the world. Okay, yeah, these worlds detached. All video games is made like this, man. These are worlds, right? You can come in here and look around and say, huh, what is happening to this object? Why isn't this wall coming up? All right, but this is running. So there's certain things that you can and cannot do while the engine is running this code. All right. So you can go back to possess, and then you come back to controlling it as if you're playing the game. And of course, stop. And be careful about doing this on and off too. Sometimes you can end up in freezes and freezes, freezes and stuff like that. And you have two different launches too. The two that I'm going to talk about is like the game launch and then launching it as if it was a project on your computer, which is kind of cool. I did that the other day. It felt really nice. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the content or the files and teach you a couple tricks to this. Well, not really tricks, but something that you should do. So file management, all right? When you go to add new, okay, a lot of different things that you can add come into play, all right? You can add more code. You can add another level. You can make a new material, particle systems, which are awesome when you get to know how to do them. Substance. Now this is from a different program called, Substance Painter. All right, that's a whole different ball game right there, but they work in conjunction with one another. You have animation, artificial intelligence, blendables, blueprints, edit utilities, foliage, materials and textures, media, miscellaneous, paper 2D, physics, sound, user interface, all this stuff. So you can add all these, all right? But the one that I'm going to focus on in this video is folders, okay? Because trust me, you're going to add probably thousands of different stuff and make your project is going to get big. So keep it organized way ahead of time, all right? So whenever you add something to download something or make something new, add a folder. All right. Now, when you add a folder, it's going to go to whatever you have highlighted. And you say to yourself, I didn't want this here. So you just take it, grab it, and move it to the content. Content is the header. All right. You drop it right there. You say move here or copy here. Now, these are very important. If you just move it here, it's going to move it itself over there. If you copy it, it is going to duplicate it over there, which can take a very long time if you have a lot of stuff in that folder. So be sure to choose what you want to do. Now, in some cases, you might want to copy a specific folder, but we'll get into that later. So move here. Okay, now I didn't name this, so I want to name it. So I'm going to click on it, right click, and here's another set of a bunch of different options that open up. But we want to go to rename. So rename it. Let's rename this, I don't know, good folder. All right, good folder. Now, pardon me for this. I don't put spaces when it comes down to typing stuff in here, but that's just something I do. All right, so you come in here, double click it, nothing's here. Well, I didn't double click it. Okay, well, we just clicked it. Nothing's in here. All right, so we have the folder. We named the folder. Let's do one other thing to this folder. I'm going to come to this folder quite a lot. All right, and again, this is going to get flooded. So what can I do to kind of make this stand out? Well, let's give it a color. And you can set a color to it. So say I want to add a nice, pretty, bright blue. Oh, sky blue. All right, and there you go. So you just colored this folder. So you not only named it, you also colored it. All right. So to do one other thing, let's add something to it. All right. So what do we want to add? Let's see. Let's add. Let's add something simple. I just want something simple, man. Does everything have to be so difficult? For the sake of time, let's just add something small. Thought they would have just like, let me see. Let's add a blueprint class to it. So let's add a blueprint. And it's going to ask me what type of blueprint do I want. Let's add a character. Why not? Okay. So I added a blueprint. Whenever you add something to it, again, be sure to name it. So let's name this. New character. And there we have it. So we just renamed the folder. colored it, added something to it. Again, whatever you add is going to add to whatever's highlighted here. So before we went to add a new folder and it added it right to what's highlighted. And I can add a new folder. I can add several thousand folders to this if I wanted to. But again, the more you add, the more you're adding to the project itself. Okay? So that's all I want to cover right now. Thank y'all for watching.